Hey everybody, Jolly92 here and welcome back to Star Citizen. Today is day 3 of the IAE 2952 and we have Aegis Dynamics here on display, and we can see this imposing figure here of the Reclaimer. Let's take a look at the map, see what all we've got. Yeah, all 4 halls plus below. Tons of ships to go over, so we'll try not to tour absolutely everything. I do have a full video tour of the Reclaimer up here, so we'll just talk about it. We're not going to walk through it today. So, starting with the Reclaimer, as it is literally the elephant in the room here. This is Star Citizen's Nostromo, even though this is a salvage ship. Well, I guess the Nostromo is kind of a salvage ship. It was a tug in the Alien universe, but it definitely echoes that in its feel when you get on the inside of this ship. It has a giant claw with a set of smaller claws on either side. You can see right here is the big claw. Awesome lights. I believe these are tractor beams on either side, and it's designed to grab holds of derelict ships and basically suck them in, I believe, through here and process them down to raw salvage and then go sell that. So I love the aspect of how industrial this ship is on the inside, how it doesn't look like it's aerodynamic or anything, but it is imposing, almost like a giant spider, even if a spider had 4 legs. But you'll see what I mean when we see the profile of it, and you can see kind of the, what would be the abdomen of the spider is the like main storage areas. It's got a refinery, all kinds of guns all over it. I love its stance with its legs here, I guess, for lack of a better term. Landing legs, landing gear. Look at this. I can stand inside of the landing gear, how massive this thing is. Very cool ship. You can see the back part of the claw here, which is also reminiscent of Alien with the extending mandible or inner mouth of the alien xenomorph. There you go. You can see the back here is kind of abdomen-esque for a spider with almost like the little spinnerets. So pretty cool ship, huge. Definitely one worth checking out if you're interested in salvage. This is supposed to be, at least right now, the top of the line, the top of the food chain for salvaging ships. And back when it was first introduced, oh man, this had to have been, what, 2014, 2015 time frame? It was said that it could process a constellation's worth of scrap. So you should be able to grab a ship constellation size and fully process that ship and then go sell the scrap that you've then refined. Pretty cool, huh? Moving on, we've got a Saber up front here. Do we have another one? So this one is a variant called the Saber Comet. It's basically reminiscent of one of the pilots that used to fly this. What was the pilot's name? Is it here? It's the Masters of Flight series. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There was a dogfighter that used a Saber and kitted it out a certain way, and basically that's what the Comet is. It has a special livery here and special weapons loadout and components loadout. But let's go look at the base Saber. That's what I would recommend over the Comet. It's a medium fighter with an emphasis on stealth and handling. See, it has 4 size 3 weapons, got 2 on each wing. These front 2 here actually retract. Got the classic Aegis cockpit here. You'll see this motif repeat on most of its military ships. Not the Reclaimer, of course. But definitely a cool ship. It does have a large profile when seen from above or below, but when seen from the front, it's got a fairly svelte profile. Handling is very good, much better than the Hornet series, which is based around being tanky. This is more based around stealthiness, but definitely a cool fighter. Definitely an earning game for me. I wouldn't recommend spending money on fighters unless you're looking at something like the Vanguard series, which we will take a look at in just a minute. So right now it looks like all of the ships up here are just the Reclaimer and these 2 Sabers. Let's go check out the ground vehicles and the future vehicles. Future ships, rather. Alright, what do we got down here? So, nothing for ground vehicle, at least not on this side. Is there anything on the other side? No, actually, yeah, come to think of it, Aegis doesn't have any ground vehicles, do they? We just have seats. But we do have some vehicles in the works. Now, the Nautilus is one. And then this is the Vulcan. This one is kind of like the baby brother to the Reclaimer. And this one is meant to do refuel, refit, and rearm. Smaller ship, I would say on the medium side of things. And it has drone bays, so 4. 4 bays. I think it's only 4 drones total, but you can only operate 2 at a time if I remember correctly. We've got a pilot, there's a living area, and then there's an extra tank underneath here to store fuel so that you can refuel other ships via the drones. Small little cargo bay in the back. So basically just a few steps probably below the Reclaimer, but definitely one I'm interested in. So definitely check this out when you're thinking about wanting to do repair, refuel, refit. Not necessarily salvage, that'll be the Vulture from Drake for the smaller side of things. So next we have a larger ship. This is called the Nautilus. This is a mine laying and mine retrieval ship. And I believe it has dual size 7s on a turret up front. And this, if I'm not mistaken, this holo display has been updated. I don't remember these guns fitting into these little channels like this before. Could be incorrect, but the bridge is supposed to be right here, at least according to the original concept art, but I don't know if that's changed or not. But anyway, these little openings here, you should have one on the top and the bottom. That's where the mines are deployed from. And so you can set up picket lines, whatever you need to. It's supposed to be multiple types of mines, magnetic mines, turret mines, EMP mines, various things. So it's not a gameplay loop that's even remotely in the game yet, so we are looking forward to seeing how that will play out. But if mine laying and mine sweeping is your thing, right now the Nautilus is the only one on the table for that. But I do have a deep suspicion that any type of drone ship should have the ability to maybe use drones to dispose of mines or at least disable them, maybe? I don't know. We'll have to see. Don't quote me on that. That's just something I'm guessing at. All right, let's go to the side hallways. God, this thing is so massive. I love the exposed wires here. Cabling. It's just so chunky looking. All right, we're going to go to Apex Hall 3, and then we can make it over to 2 from 3. I believe that's how this works. And then we'll hit the other side on the way back. By the way, today's CCU is a upgrade to the Eclipse. I believe it'll save you about $20 if I'm not mistaken. It's a Warbond upgrade. Go check it out. Don't quote me on the price there, but it is a $5 upgrade if you go to the next ship below it, and it'll save you, I think it's $20. All right, so a few things here. We've got the Gladius, and we have the Hammerhead. Let's take a look at the Gladius, which is the light fighter. All right, this is the Valiant, so this is the Masters of Flight series with a special loadout and special livery. Let's go check out the base model. You can see someone's hopping out of the cockpit there. Hop down, there you go. Ladder just came into view. Gladius is a nice light fighter. Got a weapon rack here that you can stow. I think we're trying to click on the ship itself, but yeah, you can deploy or retract that weapon rack when you hop down. It's a little tankier than the Arrow and a lot tankier than the Buccaneer, and it's very maneuverable and has a decent weapons loadout. So if you're looking for a light fighter, this is one to go for, but once again, I would recommend going for it with in-game cash, as it doesn't cost an arm and a leg compared to some of these other ships like this one over here. The Hammerhead is a very unique ship. It's kind of a screening platform slash anti-fighter platform. You see these turrets, I believe there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken. There's one up top, one on the bottom, 2 on each side. They extend pretty far and give you a very good range of motion. You can almost converge on the front, but you can definitely shoot straight forward. You just can't converge with the other one. But these are quad size 4s. So the range is not crazy, but the speed is good enough, and the rate of fire is good enough to where you can use this to maybe protect a fleet from incoming missile fire, torpedo fire, incoming fighters. The ship itself isn't super fast, so you're not going to hunt anything down with it. It's more of a defensive platform, despite all the guns that you see here. Definitely a cool ship. We can see if we can run through it real quick. There is a docking collar on the front here. This is a large docking collar, so you can actually dock to stations. And it has an underslung bridge here. Let's see if we can do a quick once-over. There is an empty section in the middle, which I feel is maybe a miss when it comes to the design of it, but to each their own. Some people like it. You have another elevator on the other side here. Let's go check it out real quick. The amenities are a bit sparse in this ship, and I feel like that's probably by design due to it being a military ship. So there's the starboard front, or starboard fore, I guess you would say, turret. Or, no, that would be port. Starboard's to the right? Yeah, so starboard's here, so that would be port. Let's just use left and right, because I get confused with nautical terms. I am not a nautical guy. I was in the Army, not the Navy. But anyway, there's a turret entrance there. There's one across the way. Here's that docking collar to the front with an airlock, and it looks like maybe suit lockers. I can't tell if that's what that's intended to be. If you come in straight from the airlock, you have a door here. Let's see if it opens. And this will take you to an elevator that will take you down to another door. And here's your bridge. Quite a unique bridge. I can't say that I personally like having the bridge underneath, but it does make it unique, to say the least. It doesn't help when your targets are above, but I guess, I mean, that's true with ships that have targets below them, but it just feels more natural to have the bulk of the ship underneath you rather than above you. But I don't know, this could be useful if you're doing like a strafing run on the ground or something like that. I think it's done just to make the ship unique, to be honest. All right, let's head up. There is a ladder you can take right over there, but ladders are notoriously janky so far, so we're going to take the lift. I say that having died to a lift just the other day. Here's the empty section in the middle. You can kind of see the other hallway. And those hallways are going to join together here. And this is where the second set of turrets are. You can see the opens on both sides. There's an elevator up. We'll come back to that in a second. All right, right here, you have another turret. That's the one up top. And then here you have the captain's quarters, right? Which is actually done quite nicely. You've got like a trophy case. You've got a desk, coffee mug. And of course, where the captain would sleep. Clothes, poop, shower, everything, right? So pretty good amenities for the captain. Pretty much in the central part, middle part of the ship, just behind the openings. Since it's just behind the openings, I would wish that they would put like a window here. I thought that would be a cool idea, but sadly they didn't. If we continue to head towards the rear of the ship, you can see here's an engineering section. All right, there's an engineer station, some components. There's probably some components going to go in there. I love these tubular hallways and these rounded convex and concave doors here. I think that's a cool feature. We got batteries in there. Here's the crew quarters. A little creepy right now, but you got some bunks here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bunks. All right, and then we've got showers, or is these poopers? These are poopers. Shower on this side. There we go. Showers here, poopers over there. Good that they separated the two. All right, we're going to head further back. This is going to take us to the cargo bay. There's a lift right here. This goes down and up. Can we control it without being on it? That's the question. I think so. There's a panel here. There we go. Let's open that lift. You could put a rover or a vehicle on there. I think you could put an Ursa rover on that just fine. The particle effects here are kind of crazy. It almost seems like there's a problem with these engines. I think it's in a damaged state and it's not supposed to be, but it's always looked like this as far as I've known. And then you have your turret right here. So that's the last of the turrets. And then we do have another level to go to. This other level feels kind of rushed to me. So let's see if we can call the elevator down. You've got some more suit lockers here. There is a ladder you can take. We will head up. Whoa, elevator's being janky. So you have another engineering station here, and you can kind of look down upon the bay down here. It looks like Ripley should be fighting the Xenomorph here, right? I know I keep using that a lot, but I mean, come on. There's obviously heavy alien influences on a lot of these ships, as well as Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5, The Expanse. What have I missed? Wing Commander, which makes sense. So here we go. Here's the mess. Pull open our flashlight. And I believe this is storage. Yep, cold storage for the mess. And that should be about it. Come on, open. Open door. Okay, so you've got components that go here and there. So the fact that the mess is on a different level than everything else just feels super weird to me. It almost feels like they built the ship and then they were like, oh crap, we need to add a mess. There's also no armory, which I feel like this ship desperately needs. It could go near the cargo elevator, or maybe even near the front. I don't know. Just it feels unfinished to me. I know they used a lot of assets from the Idris, but it feels a bit kit-bashy to me, like it's not just finished. They threw a bunch of things together just to get it out the door. It's the wrong way. I also get confused as to fore and aft on this ship quite a bit because it's so symmetrical. All right, going back to the front, let's go down here. Let's go look at the rest of the ships. There's quite a bit to look at. So we've done, I believe this is the third annex, Annex 3. All right, so let's keep going. There's no ships back there, right? Okay. Aegis, primarily a military ship manufacturer, even though there are some industrial ships, as we've seen with the Vulcan and the Reclaimer. The vast majority of ships they make are for military use. And I do like the aesthetic, and I like a lot of the ships that they have. All right, so we're in Hall 3. Now we're going to head up to the Avengers and the Redeemer. I have a full tour of the Redeemer already on the site, so or on the channel, rather. So we're just going to kind of look at everything and kind of discuss it, and then we're going to move on so that this video isn't like 2 hours long. Starting off, as we first show up, we should see the Avengers on either side here. There we go. Space Penguins, they're called. Personally, I do not like the aesthetic. It looks too modern day space shuttle-y, kind of smushed out into like this weird shape. But I cannot fault their use and their function. This is absolutely one of the best, if not the best, starter ship. I would say advanced starter. It costs a little more than a starter ship does. But 8 SCU of cargo, decent weaponry, great speed. This one here has prisoner pods, as this is the Stalker instead of the 8 SCU of cargo. This is the Titan, which has the cargo, 8 SCU. And we'll go ahead and just poke our head in here. It's got a little living quarters too. Look at this. All right, sadly no restroom, but still better than nothing. You have a bed to log out in. So this one is the Stalker, which is Bounty Hunter. This one is cargo / multi-purpose. We'll come back to you, Redeemer. Then we've got the Masters of Flight one over here, which has a special livery and special weapons loadout, but it's basically a Titan with the 8 SCU of cargo. And this one should be the Warlock? Yes. And this one forgoes the cargo for a giant EMP generator that you can walk through, as you can see here. All right, next we have the Redeemer, which is the gunship from Aegis, and just bristling with guns, compact in size, tons of shields, just a great ship. Now, it does handle like a beached whale. That's kind of the downside of this, but other than that, this is one of my favorite ships thus far in Star Citizen. Look at these turrets with dual size 5s on them. That's just massive. And then the pilot gets these 2 size 3s. And then the 2 fixed size 4s on the wings can be changed out with gimbaled size 3s as well for the pilot, making even the pilot has decent firepower. Now, you generally want to bring at least 1 or 2 extra buddies with you when you pilot this ship so that you can get the full weapons loadout. All right, let's head to the other side, look at some more ships, and then we're going to wrap this up. I'm running. Hopefully my character doesn't have a heart attack on the way. Star Citizen punishes running quite a bit, but you see my thirst and nutrition meter will just drop rapidly because I'm running here, and then soon you're going to see my heart rate pop up, which is fine. Probably be how it would be in real life for me nowadays, now that I'm out of the Army and retired and super out of shape and fat. If I went running now, I would probably die myself as well. All right, let's make it to the other side. All right, there's Apex Hall 4. We're going to hit that first and then work our way around to, I guess, 1? Yeah, so there's 1 and 4 and 2 and 3 over there. And here we go. So we should have the Vanguards in one of these halls. I imagine it would be the smaller one. So what do we have in the large one here? We've got the Retaliator and an Eclipse. So these are the bombers. So the Eclipse is pretty cool. It's your stealth bomber. If I remember correctly, it has 3 size 9 torpedoes. And it is just one of the coolest looking ships in the game. I mean, look at that. It is just menacing with the wings folded up like that. Super stealthy. It's actually hard to pick these guys up on your targeting computer until they get fairly close. And you can actually do some very high-end missions with this ship by just going and pumping torpedoes into the hammerhead that you usually see at the end of the our extreme difficulty bounty hunter missions. Cool ship. It is a bit overpriced. $300 for just something that can fly around and fire torpedoes, when you could spend a lot less and get this Retaliator, which will then have 6 size 9 torpedoes, tons of turrets all over it. I mean, there's turrets literally everywhere. You see them on the top here, see them on the bottom back there. It's got crew quarters, captain's quarters. We're not going to run through this. It's got VTOL thrusters here. I think for the money, if you're thinking about spending money on this for a bomber, get the Retaliator instead. I think it's just way more useful and way more functional, and it is modular. It's been confirmed that you can change out the bomb bays. Oh, we got a little kiosk here. You can change out the bomb bays with different modules. I believe they sold a living module for like longer range. They sold a drop module, and they sold a cargo module. So you can actually use this as a cargo runner, which people wouldn't expect that. They would just expect it to be a bomber. So definitely a cool aspect of that ship. Once again, that's what I would recommend if you're looking at owning a bomber. Don't get the Eclipse, get the Retaliator. And then if in the future you want to upgrade to the Eclipse, which I feel is a downgrade, then you always have that option available to you. Are we going the right way? I think we are. So this should be the Vanguard Hall, and this should be the end of it. Yes, so here are the Vanguards. And if you were to buy a fighter and spend real-world money on a fighter, this is the one I would recommend. This is the Heavy Fighter series, the Vanguards. This is the Harbinger. This is the Hoplite, which is the drop variant. The Harbinger is the bomber variant. This is the Warden, which is the base model. And we'll take a peek in one of them. I think the Harbinger has a cool inside, and we'll also take a look at the Sentinel on the other side. So this middle section right here changes with each variant. You still get your shower toilet. You still get 2 bunks. You still get a place to make food and a place to store munitions and your armor. But this one gets size 5 torpedoes from Aegis with Love. You have a turret up top. You have the pilot seat, and all of the power plant shield generators, all the components like that, cooling, are doubled. So you have them on both sides, much like an A-10, so that you have redundancy when it comes to getting shot and losing a module. You still have another module to help you limp home. This is the Hoplite. We'll take a peek just in the back module. This is the one that you use to transport troops. As you can see, you've lost your bunks and chow area, but now you have weapon racks and these drop seats. If I were to recommend any of them, I would recommend the Warden to start with, and then you can upgrade to any of these except for the Hoplite. That's the only one that's cheaper, but I feel the Hoplite is near useless in the grand scheme of things. The Warden has a lifeboat, so even though you still get the bunks in the shower area, it's kind of set up different. The bathroom's on the right, storage. You got a computer area, some more storage, bunks and shower area, but this whole section is made to drop out of the bottom and be a lifeboat. And you can kind of see that here. It says keep clear of door when operational, and you have these latches down here. So it'll be interesting to see when that actually comes into effect. And then over here is another interesting one. This is the Sentinel. This is the E-War variant. So you're going to see a huge difference once we pop in the back here. You've got all this orange text everywhere, which I think is really cool. Got some more server racks. Still get your bathroom, still get your storage, still get your bunks, still get your kitchen, and more storage. But this one is supposed to have an AR cockpit at some point. Right now it has an EMP, but that is placeholder. Eventually it's going to have some type of E-War, even though we don't know exactly how that'll work, whether it will be spoofing or remote control or whatever that will be. At some point, this will be the E-War variant. So since that's so up in the air as to what that will be, I would recommend starting with the Warden, keeping that, getting used to the thing, and then if you feel that you want to go on the bomber side of things, you can go to Harbinger, which has more armor, a little less maneuverability, or you could go Sentinel if E-War ends up being really cool and really interesting, has way more maneuverability, a little bit less armor. But that's going to do it for Aegis Dynamics. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Let me know in the comments which vehicles that you have purchased or are interested in. And if any of my opinions have struck you the wrong way, that's cool. They're just opinions. Let me know what yours are. What ships do you like? What ships do you not like? And what are you looking forward to? With that being said, stay tuned for the next episode. And let's check the schedule here and let's see what ship is, or what manufacturer is next. It looks like we have Alien Day tomorrow. So interested in that? We'll see you then. Bye-bye.